What's up? What's up? Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening in, wherever you're listening from. Shout out to the Spotify listenership, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube. If you're watching in, we got a very special guest today, man. Coming live from our voice to your phone, headphones, TV, or car stereo. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here right now. Let's take a moment and be present and recognize that it is now, right now. Whether you're right now is working, running, exercising, cleaning, laying down, flying, driving, recording a podcast. Let's be grateful we're alive, baby. Failure can be frightening. However, as Winston Churchill reminds us, success is all about going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. This is I Will Not Lose podcast. I'm your host, Tony Ortiz. We're going to jump right in, man. We got the legendary Phaze Wun in the building, yo. Gotta drop some air horns.
Yeah, let's go.
He's got the hat on. For you guys watching it on YouTube, he's got the what is that, like the comic bang?
Yeah. This is
what's is that?
No, this is L Money's Make a Statement brand.
I see the emojis that he throws in there, but I didn't know about the brand. Oh, that's dope, man.
He like changed it a little bit so that he could get a trademark.
That's dope. Oh, shout out to L Money.
Yeah. So shout out to L.
That's dope, man. So what you got going on tonight?
I'm here with you. I'm back in the basements, and yeah, I'm just here. Here we talk whatever we got to talk about. Everything that's been going on.
Well, we got no time limit. I cleared the cards, so everything's ready to go.
Do you read your script on the beginning, or you memorize that?
I pretty much got it memorized, but I read it because I try to keep it under a minute.
Okay,
like it's all format. You know what I mean? Everything's important because there's people who listen on the Spotify and they didn't know that there's YouTube. Yeah. So by me saying watch in, you can see the difference. And then sometimes I'll record a little audio thing before,
for sure,
to let people know. But no, it's
I always like to break the professionalism.
Yeah,
everybody gets in their little formats.
Yeah.
So I like to break it up a little bit. So I was wondering if you were reading it or if you actually memorized it.
No, I'm reading it. And with that said, it's time for our first sponsor. No. It's all a game, man. Figuring it out. So nothing's like a time limit or anything like that. There's not rules per se, but I do believe in consistency.
Absolutely.
So posting the same time, that's one big thing. I'm like, damn, I gotta stick to that. But other than that, man, I'm really curious to hear about your process. So you shot me over a project. Let's talk about a couple of the different things that you do.
Go for it.
I just found out you're a photographer. What do you spend the most of your time doing right now?
Just right now, just being a husband. I've transitioned my lifestyle from being, a bachelor guy in my 20s, and now I'm well into my 30s now. So I just got married last year. So now I'm just trying to
shout out. Congratulations, man.
So now I'm just trying to be the best husband I could be, and still work on my projects and stay consistent in releasing music and producing for the projects that I enjoy doing until who knows when. I don't know.
Nobody has the end in mind, man. It's about the journey.
Right. I don't know how much I have left in the tank, so I'm trying to.
That's what everybody says.
Right.
That's what Jay-Z said.
Especially now. Right. Yeah. And he was probably how old I am now when he was thinking about that.
I think you're at your peak. I think you're ready to go.
I hope so.
I don't know. You got it takes something to light that fire up.
You have to have it. Yeah.
You got a group of dudes you work with, right?
For sure. Yes, for sure.
I have
A-Town Slim, and Devin Haley. And I'm producing the next Tug McRaw album. If you're an OG around the area, then
big shout out
to Tug.
I just discovered his project with I don't have my phone, but I'm gonna look it up. NAI. We'll throw their social and throw that up. But I want to hear about that. You're producing a Tug album.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was my guy. And he's been for this whole period. Once you went to Full Sail, I went to Full Sail.
No. I was gonna,
Okay.
but we'll get into that. Yeah, no, go ahead.
But I went to Full Sail after high school. I started at Allen and I transferred to Northampton after we moved when I was kids. And after that, I decided to get more invested into the music side. So I went to Full Sail in 2005, graduated 06, came back to Allentown after I got offered to be an in-house producer at one of the studios down there in Orlando. And I ended up turning it down because I was young and I didn't know about like contract negotiations.
Yeah.
So
okay.
They gave me and my boy Structure a contract, who we both did production on Brooklyn Zoo's album around that time. So they really liked what we were doing. So they offered us both contracts to be in-house producers for the studio. So I had sent the contract back up here to one of like my father's lawyer. I was like, take a look at this, see, what they say. And they told me what it means and everything. And I was like, it doesn't sound like I want to work with them. So I just said no, straight up.
Oh man, he listed out the things you didn't want.
Right. I was
you
like,
didn't appeal it or nothing.
I was like,
man.
If they're about that, I kind of don't want to work with them at all.
How bad was it?
I can't really remember all the details. This is 2006, so it's like damn near 20 years, 20 years ago. So it was something about, if I remember correctly, it was something about owning or publishing like into the future after we're not working with them anymore. So instead of like going back with like a counter offer, I was just like, no. But looking back now as an older man, I should have been like, can we work through this? Something, give them a counter.
Especially if you had access to a lawyer that looked over it. You said you had a lawyer friend look over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably should have done that. One of my other friends actually stuck with it. And he did work with them. He was about the same age as I was then. It didn't really transpire anything in the end, so I don't feel that bad about it.
Well, you can never feel bad about.
Right. You learn as you go through this industry. But after that, we turned down the contracts and I ended up moving back out here. And the first artist that I had linked with was Tug. Because back then, 2006, MySpace was the prominent social media. So I was always in touch with the local, what was going on with the local rap scene out here. And so I was messaging back and forth with Tug. I was like, oh, I'm from Allentown, you're from Bethlehem and all that stuff. When I get back, we link and do some stuff. So once I came back, I linked with Tug and we did some joints. And I started my own kind of studio, real bare bones type stuff. And we were always doing music together. And he introduced me to I don't know if you know Rick Cheney and L Chain when I first started around. He introduced me to him, and I was doing my own thing back then around 2006. And one of my first clienteles when I first started my own little independent studio was Meat Beats.
Oh, okay then. Shout out to Meat Beats.
Yeah, my guy Meat Beats. He was like one of my best customers back then.
MB Pro, right?
Right, yeah.
But this was before then. He started MB Pro.
Way before.
Way before then. And MB Pro's been around like a clean decade. So
right, already.
Wow, wow.
So yeah, you have to rewind the tape a whole lot. So he used to come to me like every day, just booking hours and hours and hours. And then I eventually linked with Rick and we teamed up, and Meat was still like one of our best studio customers, and we like really liked his production. So we're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we like you paying us studio time, but you're dope. Yeah. So we had our own artists. He had his own artists. We were like, why don't we all come together? So we all came together like 2007, 2008, and we first put out like a compilation, whatever mixtape back then, with all of our artists and all of his artists called Worldwide in like 2008. And
is that on Spotify?
It used to be. That available I don't think it is anymore, but it's somewhere. Right. It might be on something somewhere. That's the thing
about music from that time, man. It's like it's not as easy to find as it is now.
No, because there was sites like what was back? I think it was on DatPiff for a while, and DatPiff just went down. It might be back up, so that might be on DatPiff still. But we had put it on something. What was the CD Baby? CD Baby's still a thing.
Yeah, CD Baby, I think, still prints albums.
Yeah, so it still might be on something. But
that's crazy.
We had put something out on there, and eventually Meat Beats went and did his own thing, and then he started MB Pro off of what we were doing. Meat watched me for a long time and seen what I was doing, and he always had his own. He wanted to do his own thing, so we fully supported what he wanted to do.
That's what's up, man. Sounds like you support a lot in the community, man. At least the local scene with music and stuff. You gotta put people on, man.
For sure. I don't think people do it enough now. Like I don't know. I try to stay in tune with the younger.
Please let me know, because I'm not. I know LG is just dropped something.
Yeah.
Spirit Lead Me. That sounds real good, man.
I didn't hear it.
I'll play it for you after the show for sure. But
I try to stay in tune, but it's getting harder and harder as I get a little bit older. So I don't know. I know LG is. I know Ant Wave's doing his thing. I don't know who's next after that. I have no idea. I'm lost after that.
I don't know. Even when you had I saw you posted something about like there's no next generation.
Right.
Are you talking about locally, or you mean just everywhere in hip hop general?
No, I know people are still rapping, but the next generation mainstream wise, like who's actually rapping next?
Not just like independent artists. You got Joyner Lucas, like
and he's old now too. So like Joyner Lucas is like 30 plus.
Oh, you're talking young.
Yeah, I'm talking about like who's like the next guys that are early 20s.
Shit, when Lil Uzi Vert is the past generation,
and he's like 20. Crazy. What is he now? 28? I don't know. I don't know how old Lil Uzi Vert is.
Well, maybe we're just old.
Maybe
it's
old.
Us. There's my younger listeners are sitting here yelling at the comments right now, like, oh, you don't know about this guy. But
I'm sure there's someone.
Well, music is so different now. Like, it's so accessible, so you could have a huge cult following, and
there are people like that. But it's like we had the double XL next generation listen coming up in the 2010s. Now who's that?
I wouldn't even know.
They just like announced the people, and it's like every year it keeps getting what the fuck every year, more what the fuck every year. And it's like Ice Spice and whoever else they put on there, and they're like,
I have no idea.
Is Ice Spice considered like a rapper? No. Well, and it's been like that for a couple years, but like you could at least justify some of them.
They had like
year.
Anderson .Paak, and I was like, he's been making music forever. Like,
right, and he's like a singer.
Reaching. That's the thing. They're like, well, he's new to rap.
Right.
I'm like,
he's within like the branch, I guess. Like you could justify it, but he's not raps, like rapping.
But you don't put Rihanna as rapper just because she spit bars.
Right. Just because she did.
Bitch better have my money.
Just because she did bitch better have my money. It doesn't really.
She's the greatest female rapper.
Yeah.
She's the richest. But no, that's why I don't try to get too much into the numbers. You can tell if the music is like manufactured or if
for sure. And that's what they've been doing for years now, is manufacturing the next people. Like Cardi B, they have a whole team of writers and producers just giving her these songs, and she performs them well.
She had that energy to be the star. Like
for sure.
She was a star before she was a star.
You could look through my posts.
Yeah.
I called Bodak Yellow 9 months before. And I didn't like Cardi B at all. But the second I heard that song, before it got on, I said, no, right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was the one. That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's putting anything out. I mean, I'm sure she's doing stuff. She had the baby. I'm not even up on pop culture. Which I was. I feel so old. But I mean, even the podcasts that I listen to that covered pop culture, they're talking about dumb shit now. Like it's I don't know if nothing's going on.
No.
Or is there some bigger, massive shit going on? Because it should not be this quiet. There's wars and stuff going on.
It kind of is bigger, massive stuff, but it's also not at the same time. It's more so broken up.
You mean like the news is broken up?
Everything's broken up into sections of what you're specifically into.
I got you.
It's not like one. There's probably not going to be a such thing as pop culture anymore.
Shit. I didn't even think about it like that. You're right.
It's all going to be segregated into a specificity of what you like or what you're looking into.
That's wild.
And it's going to be like a little subgenre everywhere.
I don't know if that's...
It kind of is what it is now.
Dude, that's my Spotify DJ is AI. And I just... Did you see this yet?
No.
Bro, you push DJ and it goes, "What's up, Tony? Let's go back and listen to what you were listening to in 2017. And here's some new artists like that. Here's some things you might have missed that year or whatever." And it plays music. And then after a few songs, it'll switch it up and be like, "All right, we're going to play some Tupac." And it literally just, I've listened for 2 hours and it just continues to switch the vibe, but it knows what I like and what I listen to.
Right.
So it's playing underground hip hop, like a DJ spinning it. And I'm like, that's super weird. Not even just the fact that it knows my music. That's the easy part. We had that algorithm for years.
Yeah.
The fact that it's talking to me and pronouncing artists and saying we could do this, I'm like, yo, this is wild. So how much of like, I mean, eventually are kids of the future just going to be like, all right, read your profile. Here's some music you'll like. Here's an album cover. Just create a whole experience. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's gonna get, I don't think the kids are gonna ask for that, but I think it might probably get to where it's spoon feeding people to that extent. Like, okay, you like this certain thing. Once it's fed enough information, it's gonna give you, it could probably create what you like out of nowhere, like a new artist, a new genre. Like, oh, you like these things? Here you go. Here's exactly what you like.
Yeah, and it could use references of
it's just
real people,
something you never heard. It's something that doesn't even exist.
I put into something like Chat GPT. Yo, I want to hear J. Cole spit a Shakespeare-like verse and start referencing like people throughout history and have it just put that language together. I mean, I don't know. We got technology to the point where we just got it doing nothing. Oh, yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. The problem with that I found with like the AI as far as the music aspect goes is it's good with patterns and pattern recognition and mimicking a lot of things. But it's not good, because I'm a producer, it's not good with sound selection and sound creation of
it's trash at music
quality. Like it could, redo Beethoven and stuff like that, but it can't select quality sounds.
Right. No, I believe it. You ever try to have Chat GPT write a rap?
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Oh man, it's terrible. But what I think is interesting is you can tell it write a rap in the style of Kendrick Lamar.
Right. It'll give you something.
It'll
give you a starting point.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take things that he says. I'm like, just the fact that it knows what Kendrick Lamar is. So it's been what, 4 months since Chat GPT's out?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, there's no way it could be like this. Dude, I played around with an AI that puts a video together and makes captions and all that shit. And
Right.
like, yeah, a human editor is still better. But
For sure. It's the new Google. Because
yeah, yeah.
Google is almost useless now. You you search stuff and you just get ads and people who paid for, the first page, and you're like, this is not even what I'm looking for.
It does take a while to get to what you need to find in Google
unless
nowadays.
you're searching for something on Amazon that you want to buy. It's good with that. But if you're looking for like information, like actual information to research something, it's going to give you the first page. Every single search slot is going to give you the exact same information.
I don't know. But you know what? Somebody creative is going to come along and like just make sense of that. Because I mean, they'll Google has its own chat GPT. It's called Bard. They're going to try to train that with everybody, and they'll get it to the point where you just ask a question. I mean, it had to come to an end at some point. We're old enough to remember before Google. You know what I mean?
Jeeves, Yahoo,
fucking Alta Vista, like
all them things. So we've seen it all before. So ChatGPT will be the next thing,
or something like it.
There'll be the next one. We've seen all these iterations already. So ChatGPT is just the next version of that.
I think it's far off for music and stuff like that, but
yeah, it's going to improve a lot of things, and it discourages me in a lot of ways musically, because I feel like we've become the AI, especially in like rap music and stuff, because it's heavily programmed and very digital. So the way people have been producing music for the past, at least 5 years is very robotic.
Yeah. Like very modular.
Copy paste.
Modular.
Right. So you hear all of these songs that they've been coming up with the past fucking 5 years, and you're like, what is this? It sounds the same as the last song. It sounds like a bunch of noise. I don't know what this is.
But something's gotta stick. I wonder if it'll be the people. Like, I wonder if someone, because there is something very true to the fact that like younger people will hear music. Like old people don't like young people's music.
Right.
Unless you're creative and you, like you said, you're actively trying to hear and understand something newer, things like that. You know, there's things that I pick out, but you also got to realize like there was always people making music in tandem with whatever stuck out, and that was good. Like there was always a lot of noise.
For sure.
Like they weren't just making great rock music in the 80s, you know what I mean? 60s and 70s. Like there was a bunch of people in their garage putting out absolute dog shit. They just didn't have
They didn't get to put it on the internet.
Yeah. They
just stayed in the garage. Nobody ever heard it. But every decade, at least since like the year 1900, no decade has really sounded like the next decade. 00 to 20 or 1910s, and then the 1920s like swing music, and then 30s. What was popular in the 30s? I don't remember.
Like
getting more into jazz.
It was a little bit between that swing and jazz. There's a name for it, like big band.
Yeah, there was big band. 40s was kind of more jazzy.
Nah, you
blues.
You had like Bing Crosby. You had that lower, like that, which led into 20 years later Frank Sinatra and them.
It was getting more into that, into the 50s, where Frank was starting to come in, and more slow, but not big band. But they had ballad. They had the orchestras. And then a singer. I don't know what the technical term was for that, and then into the 60s where it started getting more produced, and then also the 60s rock started coming in, and then 70s, of course, we get funk.
You think it's gonna happen faster than 10 years? And I only ask that because
no, I think it's getting slower because people aren't thinking of anything.
They're
else.
Just not progressing it.
running out of ideas.
When it works. But you know what,
Now-
though? If you think about it, like everything is spawned off Wayne. Like,
They're rehashing the past now because there's no future culture that's taking over pop culture. Like you said, now all they're doing is going back to the nostalgia of our generation, of like millennial generation. So now they ran the gambit of the 80s nostalgia, like with Stranger Things.
Yeah.
They ran that gambit because now the Gen Z, the Zoomers, they're like, we don't really identify with the 80s. We weren't even born.
Yeah.
So now we're the old heads to the Zoomers. So they have to go back to the 90s nostalgia where we are the consumers now.
Yeah.
Because Gen Z doesn't have any money.
Yeah. I just bought a Rugrats t-shirt. That's
we
funny.
have the money. And we have a whole generation of children who love nostalgia.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I was telling my wife that about GameStop. She tells me, your kids shop there. What are you doing shopping at GameStop? I was like, dude, everybody at GameStop is not buying stuff for their kids. Like their target market is 30 to 40. It's for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to go out of business too. But we are the last generation with money now, as of right now. The Zoomers don't got no money. They're fucked.
They got my daughter said to me, she was like, I'm worried that my generation is just going to be unmotivated. Like everybody's just going to want to be a TikToker. And I'm not sure what we're going to do to change anything. I'm like, that's coming from the generation.
Do any of them want to be a plumber? One of y'all got to want to be a plumber because we're going to need plumbers when we're old. All right. In 20 years, we're going to need a plumber. We don't want to clean the shit up that's backed up in our toilets. But we're going to need somebody to do it. So one of y'all got to do it, please.
Are you on anything besides Facebook?
Instagram, Twitter, that's it.
I forgot to have you shout your social out, but I'll make sure I put it up in the lower third so that people have it if you want to shout it out now.
I'm gonna be starting my own little thing like we got going. I just started the YouTube channel. I'm calling it It's Just a Phase.
It's just a phase, Phaze.
Yeah, so
nice.
So that'll be a thing, and I'll be talking about music topics and creative things. Mostly starting with like the local scene and interviewing people about the history and their stories and stuff like that.
That's super dope. I wanted to see going back to, so I'm interested. So you got a project with Tug McGraw coming out.
Yeah.
You mentioned you got something with Devin Haley.
Yeah. Devin, I've been producing for him since 2017. And we linked up after I split from L Chain and I started doing my own thing. And I linked with Devin because he's been around the local scene for a while. And he's the son of Casey Haley from Jodeci. So
Casey and JoJo.
Yeah, Casey and JoJo for the next generation of people who don't know who Jodeci are. But he's his son. So I hit him up and was like, oh, we should do something sometime. So I sent him some joints, and then eventually he had said, he was like, oh, if you can come to LA, we'll work on some stuff. So I was like, I don't got nothing to do right now.
You told him you're going to check your calendar though, right?
I said, check I'm free. But yeah, I didn't have anything going on with that. I was working with Slim and we were deciding what we were about to do next. And I was like, I'm gonna go out and fuck with Devin for a week. So I flew out to LA and his uncle JoJo had a studio out there. So we just linked up and we did his I don't know if it's his first album, but it might be his first like official album moment. We did that whole shit in a week out there in LA.
I'm super excited to hear that.
Yeah, you didn't listen to that one yet?
No, did you send it to me?
I don't think so.
No, then how did I hear it? It's not out.
No, it is out.
Oh, I thought you said you're working on a project
Another
that's
one.
coming. Oh, that's the one I'm excited to hear.
Yeah.
No, maybe you did send me that because I did listen to Devin Haley's project.
Yeah, because you were listening to Top 5 Volume 2.
Yeah.
So we did 3 projects before that one in a short amount of time. So did we put it out 2017? It was either 2017, 2018 that we put out Moment. That was like his first full-length, quote-unquote, album that we did together. So we did Moment out there. And then after that, we did Top 5 and Love Factory in the same year. So the Love Factory was his R&B album where he's more so singing than rapping. And now we're on to Top 5 Volume 3. And the one that I just finished mixing was it's called No Fun Intended. And that's the next project. And then after this one, it's going to be Top 5 Volume 3, which is 90% done already. And yeah. So we got 3 other projects besides that one.
Coming from the guy that said, I don't know how much gas in the tank I got left.
No, I got 3 projects. I have production gas in the tank. As far as rapping gas, not so much.
It'll come back.
It comes in spurts.
Yep. It might be a while, but
yeah, it takes longer for me to get motivated to rap for sure anymore. Because I don't know. You do music, so it's like I've been started writing when I was like 12 or 13. So it's been 20 years.
It's been like 10 years since I dropped the track. I'll have to look it up. I think the last track I put out was Anvil with Gallo. Shout out to Gallo. That was a long time ago, but I'm going to put something out just for fun. I have to. I've talked about it on the podcast.
Just put stuff out. That's all you got to do.
When I first went, I recorded 2 verses recently, and my buddy, shout out to Johnny Melendez, he comes over and he brings out a little interface and a laptop, brings out the SM7B, and I'm like, okay, so do you need me to print your verse? And he's like, don't you got a phone? He's like, nobody
Right.
prints their verse anymore. I was doing mad stuff differently. Just I'm used to the analog. A lot more stuff is digital, but it's easy to hop into it. I try to get my son into it. My son is 13, and he even told me the other day, he's like, you know what? I don't really want to learn to produce, but I think it'd be fun to be an artist. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just have him at least do a song for him to hear himself. I recorded him singing Frank Sinatra. So just, it's a wild creative outlet.
For sure.
Like no matter where you end up with music or anything like that, that's why I think it's so important to promote. People don't know what one share or one like does. Like, like they scroll by and they like to see that you're doing it. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I had that problem with people a while ago too, because people know what I do who know me or who's around.
There was one of your lyrics where you had said essentially, well, a lot of your lyrics said just like, nobody from Allentown made it, or nobody from A-Town, quote unquote, made it and stuff. And it's like, there's such a rich musical scene here. There's such like a story of stuff. And there's people who like, I would compare to like Tupac or something that explain this area and the nuances of it very well. But I don't know if it's too close to Philly, too close to New York. I don't know. Maybe we just need to start working together more. You know what I mean?
It's really difficult. And we've been trying to do that for a long time, like me and Rick and Slim, because I always felt there was something special about people who are actually from Allentown and people from Bethlehem and people from Easton, like actually from here, not transients from New York or New Jersey, and not to disrespect any of them. But I felt there was always a unique personality about people who are actually born and raised here. And that's what we found with myself. I was born on 17th Street Hospital and raised 2 blocks away from here for 12 years of my life until we moved, not even out of town, to the quote unquote suburbs that's 10 minutes away. But I'm still here. And so is Rick, is from here, born and raised here. A-Town Slim, born and raised here. Devin's from New York, but we accept him a little bit. There's just a lot of artists that I've encountered that are actually from the area that I felt have something different style-wise, who are unique to New York, unique from Philly. They just have something different about them than those areas. And we're kind of an amalgamation of all of these places, because New York is a gritty place. Philly's a gritty place. But they're also a little bit more, not as much, not to say high class, but they have a bouginess about them coming from the bigger cities. And we have a more blue collar experience than they do.
That's well said. That makes sense.
And so we talk the same shit, but it's just a little bit different. We don't have the New York accent. We don't have the Philly accent.
For those just listening that aren't from the Valley, we are about an hour and a half north of Philly, and maybe 2 hours south of New York. Yeah, well, you could get to Philly, and your map says Philly, but if you're going to visit someone in the city and you got to deal with traffic, you got to go through there. Yeah. So I'm just thinking until you get to the center. But I have listeners outside of this area that might not know where our geography is, and I always tell people, because I deal in. I contract with people in audio visual all over the world. You know what I mean? I'm in digital marketing. So when I'm explaining to them the Valley, I share a lot of the same pride that you're saying with, like, it's this niche area, but it's like anywhere else where you don't always have people willing to work together or, just put people on. Just
for sure. And I'm all for working together too with people who are deserving of being worked together with.
No, you don't gotta work together with them. Just share something and say, okay, this is coming from, it's also different with rap. It's easy for me
it's always competitive.
Yeah. Rap is much more competitive than, say, graphic design or something. Even other videographers, because most of at least the videographers that I deal with, they're not chasing the $200 videos. You know what I mean? Like they're not even in the same, they're not worried about people who are asking for getting things a handout or cheap. I mean, video is one of the greatest mediums to be able to get people's attention and deliver a message and stuff. So it's valuable. If you have something worth filming, then you already can monetize it and make whatever you're putting into it back.
Absolutely. Even more so now, because we got into videos super early. 2009, we started doing videos around the same time that Josh Ramirez was doing videos.
Shout out to Jack 9.
Exactly. Shout out to Jack 9. We were doing shit at the same time. And even then, me and him always rocked with each other. And he was like, yo, you're better than me right now. And all that stuff at that time. And then he just took like a little turn and then took off.
Yeah.
And I've always been the more, I only want to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if people didn't want to do it, I don't care. So he was like, I'm over here getting money. People are paying me to do this. I'm gonna do this. So he took off and did his thing, which I applaud. I seen him a couple years ago. I went out to Florida and visited his studio and all that, and it's very impressive.
I gotta get out there.
And yeah, that's my guy. But we started basically the same time. And he was older than I am now, starting out doing videos.
Right.
Then. So
he was like 34.
Yeah. So there's
videos.
no time limit as to when you could start and be successful in doing things. Like you were saying, the podcast's like about failure. I've a ton of failures.
Yeah.
Because I start things, I get into things, and then I'm like, is this for me or not? And that's how I've always been. That's how I started out. I taught myself how to record. I taught myself how to produce. Taught myself how to engineer. I taught myself how to do videos. Taught myself how to edit videos. Taught myself how to do artwork. And I figured out what I like doing and what I don't like doing. So I always say, just do things like you're doing right now with the podcast. Just go ahead, dive in head first. It doesn't matter if things suck, but you'll figure it out eventually. And if you figure out that you just don't like doing it, you find some other aspect to do it.
Or the third one, I suck and I love doing it, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
There's a lot of people who do that too. There's a lot of people who do that too. And that's what I was gonna say too about supporting people from the area. And I'm speaking on that aspect solely as a rapper or artist in the hip hop community in the Valley. Is a lot of people are mad at me. I'm kind of infamous, quote unquote, because I don't send people beats. I don't support them the way they feel they should. But I always have my eye out for people who are talented or I see something in, because if they are talented and I see something in them, I want to work with them. I'm a producer at heart. If they're a dope artist, I want to send them some stuff, or I want to give them a critique on something they may be able to do better or improve upon a little bit. So I always have something to give somebody who's coming up.
But it's not a charity, just handing out beats.
Right. For whoever.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who I think don't deserve the shares or the respect, who feel they do need it. But I'm just like, no, like there's some people who just share whoever or support whoever just because they're from the town. And I've never been like that, because I feel like my opinion and cosign matter a little bit. I don't want to say more, but yes, more. I want to keep my credentials in a certain range, to where if I'm sharing somebody's stuff or I'm telling you that this is dope, please go listen to it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You got to be like the Paul Revere. When you tell people it's time to go, they understand it's time to go. You can't just be doing that, calling false alarms.
Right, for everybody, yeah.
Sharing everything. No, that makes a ton of sense. I'll say I'll at least give it a listen.
Right.
And I'll come
I listen
back,
to a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Like they'll go like there's a lot of times I'll hear something and it might not be great, but if I see that person still doing it a while down the road, I'll be like, let me check back in and see what's up and just see if this changes or if this does different. But honestly, Facebook is not a place where I would really see new music, because I'm not usually first of all, I'm not a consumer. I'm not on Facebook really looking for anything. I kind of catch myself scrolling. I have timer apps when I'm working that tell me if I do anything on my phone.
Facebook is dead. Is pretty much dead now.
Well, isn't all social media just media now?
All of it's dead.
you'd think it'd be something visual on a visual platform, but
Right. No.
all this is only because people actually watch it. Like I like listening to my podcast when I'm running, doing something like that.
Mhm.
When I go and like sit and watch a podcast, I did big shout out to DJ Focus podcast because that had me locked in last week for like 2.5 hours on live. I was driving and I just had it playing through the car.
Yeah.
And it's super entertaining. And I'm like, that lends itself to video. I would listen to it if it was just on the radio or just audio, but I'm not watching a podcast for 4 hours. I'm not sitting there and watching Joe
No.
Rogan and talk with his guests. I might reference the timestamp if there's something I wanted to see, but I don't have to watch people talk. But I understand that some people do.
Yeah,
Like-
some people do. People like us, though, we're in a little bit more of the minority. Because I've been the same way over the past, 10 years of when podcasting started to really take off. And I've been listening to long form content for a long time. And whenever I would be interested in something and I would send somebody something to listen to, and it's a podcast that's an hour plus, they would be like, don't send me no shit like that. I'm like, how am I going to?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't listen to anything under 30 minutes.
Well, you send the clips.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. If there's shorts, that's a great part. Or you know what? It just comes up in conversation. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff from the podcasts that I consume will come up in conversation or come up in my show or something. But
I never learned within the shorts, it grabs the people it needs to grab. But I'm not that guy. Throughout all those podcasts, there's always something in the weeds that you pick up that you would never pick up if you just only listen to the shorts. It's always it's always a nugget in there that you would only get if you listen to the full 2 hours.
I'll send you. We'll get in our little audio club. I'll send you some people that do listen to long form content that have conversation. Like they'll actually have a conversation with you about this stuff. Now 4 hours. That's just ridiculous. The only time I'm sharing that, the only time I'm sharing 4 hours is like at work. Well, like, you know what I mean? I'll be at my day contract and I'll look over at one of my coworkers there and they'll be like, you want to throw on a Lex Friedman or something? It's noon. It's the beginning of the day. We could watch it till noon or something.
Right.
It's just in the background and you don't have to actually listen. And if we find ourselves too into the conversation, we'll be like, all right, we got to get work done. Let's turn this off.
Right.
But if I haven't gone on a road trip with someone to be like, let's just throw that. Last time I did that was like 2018, where it's like, you get a podcast, I get a podcast. We'll listen to something as we go. But, everybody has and they have people, shout out to my listeners that tune in every week and check back. You build a relationship with checking back and hearing the same voice, the same content every week. Like there's little nuances of things where I'll see somebody in real life and I'll be like, yeah, I went to 4 days in my day contract, so I'm free Fridays. They'd be like, oh, I know. Like, how'd you know that? It's like, you put it out on a podcast and broadcast it to the world. So start there. But besides music, besides just being a career creative in general, how do you keep up your mental health and everything or do you? Like
I've just started. I've just started keeping up with my mental health. My bad. Through your teens and 20s, we didn't know shit about none of that.
That's the clip.
Especially through my 20s, it was just drinking. That's how I kept up with my mental health.
Oh no.
Up until my, I don't know if you want to call it a mid-20s crisis or something, but like around like when I turned like 26, I was like, is this what I want to keep doing? Is this how I want to live my life forever? Like the years are going to keep passing by and I'm going to be 30 soon. So what do I want to do really? So I really had to to reflect on how I'm living my life. And it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking like a good outcome from who I was around and the things I was doing. So I really had to make a change, and it was really significant with what I was doing. And I had to cut ties with people and stop doing the things I was doing, and really turn a corner in my outlook on life in general. I was always like a lifelong nihilist, atheist, rebellious, everything you wouldn't think of. And I came to a crossroads where, in the aspect of nihilism where nothing matters and you don't go anywhere after you die, and that could take you to some really dark places in your mind. And I went there, and it was tough, but I really changed the outlook on my life, and came around that things do matter, and there is things to live for, and there is purpose, even if it's the purpose that you give it.
Yeah.
Even if it's only that, you can get out of the hole you're in. And that's what I came to. And, now I'm a married man, so. Before that, there was no time where I was thinking of marriage or a family or anything like that. It was just going to be, I don't know, I might just get fucked up until I die. I don't know.
Damn. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to judge.
Yeah, I think I'm on a pretty good path. Definitely a way better person. I'm more present with my family and people in my life who've been there for a long time, because before I was more cold and distant and focused on, I was way more focused on the music and just trying to do things I wanted to do. I'm in my 20s, early 1920s, and just living life, being wild.
Do you have kids? You don't mind me asking?
No, I don't.
Okay. That was a big change for me. I think I was 23 when I had Jaden. See, I'm 36 now. Yeah, he's 13. So
yeah, we're the same age.
It's wild.
Yeah, I have nieces and nephews.
Oh no,
but
no,
none of my own. Yeah,
it's all good if you don't have kids. I just feel like now I'm doing stuff I would have did in my 20s. Like I have that fire for, like, don't get me wrong, right. I did stuff in my 20s.
You had the period that was like your blackout period.
Yeah, like
and now you're like, no, now I can do these things.
Honestly, I stopped rapping because I had a son, and my son pulls up most of my music is like I had it uploaded somewhere, and like you said, like that piff, this stuff disappears. Yeah. I don't have any record of maybe 3 albums, and then I had 4 or 5 tracks done or working on a project with Gallo,
right?
And all his hard work that he put into the beats, I was just like, I'm not gonna finish it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm not. And everybody's like, oh, it's a phase. It is what it is. You guys were right. After 11 years, I'm back dropping the hottest mixtape of the year.
And I feel like I was kind of the opposite of that. And a lot of my friends that I grew up with, we're all like the same age. So as they were doing the same thing you were doing, is having families and living your life, working your jobs, I wasn't doing that. I was working on the music,
there you go.
Trying to do what I was doing, which, I'm not famous or anything, but that was my purpose at that time. So I skipped out on having kids and a family while you guys were doing that. And now a lot of the people like yourself and a lot of my friends now, their kids are teenagers and stuff like that. And they have a little bit more time to pay attention to what's going on. And they're like, oh, hey, what are you doing now? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I needed your support fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, right?
Not now. Now I'm old. Everybody who's trying to search for my shit now, they're fucking 17 or not even 17. I don't know. I don't even know how old they are that they're going to look. But I'm not appealing to the people who are going to be searching for music now. I needed that support 10 years ago. But
now, do you know what it is though? Like music didn't have a chance to mature until like Jay and M and Wayne
that's right.
still putting music
for
out.
Sure.
Louis Bardalis, LBJ, told me he had mentioned that, and I was like, that reframed my mind. I was like, that makes so much sense. So it's not there still is people searching for the type of music you make.
Absolutely. And I've said that before too. Like within our lifetime, there's gonna be an artist who gets popular who isn't alive anymore. Like people are gonna discover him and he's already dead.
Yeah. Oh man. It's wild.
That's gonna happen. Eventually.
It's not Unwrapped like though.
No.
I was honestly thinking of that the other day. I was like, what if I just record these tracks and they're not out while I'm alive?
Yeah.
Not that I'm thinking.
And then people discover it and they're like, no, this guy's fire. You got to go check him out. And then they go like look up your Wikipedia and they're like, oh shit, he died in like 2007.
We're going to get into some music, man. You should play some music.
Yeah.
Do you got your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull up well, is there anything you want to play? As long as you can send me the links, I'll be able to throw it in and post.
I have nothing in mind. I'm not sure if there's anything.
Do you have Everything I Want?
Okay. All right.
Everything I Want off of the Misery Loves Company album.
Get rid of my old ego, then go out and cop a bigger one. You thought I would talk about waking up with good morning, but I would talk about I'm killing them. Don't ask me my opinion about anybody else, my answer's no, I'm not feeling them. These motherfuckers hating for no reason at all, well let me go ahead and give you one. Fuck y'all, I really mean that, fuck y'all. From the bottom of my heart, y'all bitch at bottom of the barrel, staring at the bottom of the bottle. Gotta be apparent that y'all ain't never pop, nobody taking on spot. And I done made it to the top and at the bottom from the start. I know y'all taking that to heart. Kinda hard to admit that you ain't shit. Cause y'all ain't from here and you claim to run the city, but you gotta be kidding me. Maybe it's the king of me, I'm feeling myself. Speak up, you feeling differently. Cause y'all ain't fucking with me every time I drop my team shit on y'all team religiously. Y'all talk a bunch of stupid shit, I got among squads and I got a couple crucifix, huh? Everything that I want, everything that I want, everything that I want, I'ma get everything that I want. 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 Everything that I want. Everything that I want. Everything that I want. I'ma get 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 everything that I want. Know what I hate about y'all? Y'all don't pay attention. You take it for granted because my presence is a present. Now you gotta pay admission, huh? You with the same old lanes, fucking the same old bitches. Used to be money over bitches, what a coincidence. Now they just change over bitches, and they ain't know the difference. This ain't no mirage, no fake or facade. I just changed the menage to a paradigm's quick, that's a paradigm shift. Now everybody wants something, everybody wants something. Misery love company, and I don't need no company, I'm good by myself. You can skip me with the fuckery. They say it costs to be the boss, but it's free to be a sucker. Motherfucker still sucker free. People claiming that they fuck with me.
Super dope. All right, that was Everything I Want off the Misery Loves Company album. Is it available on YouTube?
Just on YouTube, that's it.
Just on YouTube. We'll make sure, I don't know, we're going to throw the link in the in the description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope to get my other catalog and this one too on other streaming services. I want to remix them and make them sound a little bit better, as I always want to. Like,
it sounds good. Don't be a perfectionist, man.
I know. That's what I've tried to learn to balance over the years too. Otherwise, I would never put anything out. Is I have to get it to the point to where I just put it out.
But we're gonna land the plane. I want you to chill for a second after the show. I want to play some music for you.
Yeah,
just
go for it.
Show you some projects we're working on. So we close this. We have a special way of closing this out. This is I Will Not Lose podcast, where we set out to prove everything is learned from failure. We must persevere and recognize it as one step closer to success. To support the show, visit the website shows.acast.com/I Will Not Lose. Subscribe in your favorite podcast player. Make sure you share this episode link. Leave a comment. Whatever, man, your contribution is appreciated. Thank you for listening.